Benefits of Agile is faster, quality, customer satisfaction, boost morale because now nobody's left out of the picture. I can guarantee you, if Chinley is working, for example, and he's not getting feedback, he doesn't know what we think about the project, then even though he's working, he himself will be frustrated because he's not getting meaningful real-time feedback. So we are saying we're going to eliminate all that because every day, weekday, we'll be having a quick 50 minutes touch point. That's all. Some of the touch point might just be a quick one. We'll fix the time, agree on it, straight to the point. No, but it must never be more than 15 for any reason. And once you give your own status, you just bounce. You don't have to be there on the call. Just leave, and that's it. Just straight to the point. What did you do? Are things going? Are there roadblocks? Give us your status and you bounce. That's it. No big deal. Just straight to the point. Okay. Again, we talk about traditional waterfall and agile. Like we said earlier on, traditional was really sequential in phases, a lot of documentation, requirements, and testing only begins after development is completed. That was a nightmare. But in agile, we are testing immediately because before we accept a user story, we have to test it that we are comfortable with it before we accept it, right? So testing is ongoing. Waterfall was such a strenuous process at some point because you're waiting to test after you've built. So if you build disaster, it's just going to be accumulation of disaster and it gets more complicated. So anyway, so that's the whole gist about it. I'll skip this part of it, but you get the gist around it. Okay, it's a no-brainer for us, especially for our kind of project. We are going agile for sure. All right. Some basic overview of some agile frameworks out there. You can see we are going to be using Scrum. There's Kanban, there is Safe, there's XP, there's Lean, there's FDD. There are others out there, but we chose Scrum because it's just an easier way for us to operate and do our work in general. And at the end of the day, it's just different ways of creating efficiency to execute projects. You know, Scrum Overview is the most popular of the framework out there. It emphasizes continuous improvement. It has a lightweight structure whereby we have different roles identified. It has empirical processes, which is why I'm making sure I go through this with the team in general. Some roles in Scrum, we have product owners, we have Scrum Masters, and development team. For us on this call, we would have Scrum Masters, we would have product owners, we would have development team. So we would be, it's an all-inclusive project. So in this case, look at me more as um, look at me as a business for now, right? I would have said Gemini and I as business, but I want her to play the role of Scrum Master also and Bokumi. They will be acting as Scrum Master on this project. The Scrum Master, you'll see that they facilitate the Scrum process in general. So meaning they just try to remove any impediment as we work as a team. The product owners in this project would be our technical product owner will be Finn, and the development team would be all our four interns and Chinley. I will consider it the development team because Chinley, you can always ask them, hey guys, help me with testing, help me with reviewing source code. You do stuff like that to kind of help them in general because that would facilitate their work or your work too. So use them to kind of test, especially testing will be a big one for them. Then they would function as UX folks also to kind of check the user experience in general. So all of us will kind of play around UX also. That's where I'm kind of thinking about it in general. But these are some of the roles in general. The product owner is very, very important because all of our work, they prioritize it. The backlog, they prioritize it, and they manage those backlog also. So we would have a product owner role, Scrum Master role. So we decide eventually would the product owners that will be accepting it. Thing, of course, is going to be the technical product owner. The functional product owner would likely be Gemini also. So, and that simply means for the functionality, she would give the final say and say, okay, I've tested this makes sense, I'm good with it, I accept it. So, or I can have Gemini function as Scrum Master and Product Owner, Bukumi, both of you do both. And some of you are asking me, okay, how does this make sense? Why do we care about stuff like this? Believe it or not, for those of us that find ourselves outside of the shores of in the Western world, North America, Canada, Australia, UK, these are very, very highly skilled, highly paid skills you are acquiring. That's the reality of it. So make sure you understand the leverage, why it's important, especially for my interns. Take advantage of it. It's a big skill to acquire in general. Okay. Scrum artifact. Let's talk about the artifact. For us, the one I want us to care about is there's what we call product backlog. Product backlog will be all of the list of things we are supposed to do. There might be 50 things, right? We've listed everything we are supposed to do. Sprint backlog is going to be where we now say, we have 5 sprints. So out of the 50 things I'm just giving an example, 50 things you've identified, you'll be pushing them into each of the sprints. Sprint one, maybe sprint one, we say we are bringing in just 7 things to work on in sprint one. Put the 7 things there. Sprint two, we might say, all right, we are putting 8 things there. Put the 8 things there. So we call that process grooming. Can we type grooming, everybody? Grooming, just like grooming your beard, your hair. Can we type grooming, everybody, if you don't mind, please? Can we type grooming? Grooming. 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 So we're talking about grooming. So what we're doing there is just, okay, like you're cutting somebody's hair, you're just grooming, making sure it's good. Because remember, again, we have all this list of things we want to do. Some of the things we've put on that list, we might not even do it eventually and say, well, this is for the future. It's possible. But on the product backlog, everything will be there. Sprint backlog is where we take from that master product backlog and be pushing into sprint. Okay, this way we'll do it. But the idea of the product backlog is that at least we have a representation of all of the things we potentially want to do. Makes it so easy for us, right? At the end of the day, and helps us to plan effectively also. All right, some events in Scrum. You can see we talk about the sprint. Sprint can be time boxed between 1 to 4 weeks, so it depends on how we do it. In our case, we do it every week. There's retrospective. This is what we talk about reflective time. We after every sprint, we have like a 15 minute and say, okay, for this sprint, what could we have done better? What were the roadblocks? We kind of use it to kind of get us going. Then we have sprint planning. Sprint planning is when we decide, okay, we are grooming. Which of this user story are we bringing into the next sprint? Very important because what we're doing is that you've given me 50 tasks and you're saying, out of the 50, which of them are we pushing to week one? All right. So this is where we do back and forth. The development team would say, okay, we can bring this now. Always be careful. Chinley and the team, you're going to think and say, what is my capacity? Am I chewing too much? The Scrum Master would ask, Bukumi and Gemini will say, okay, listen, are we sure we can deliver this in this sprint? And we say, well, I think we should be good with this. Okay, fine. So we are making sure we are gauging some reasonableness and say, is it feasible? Because nothing is as horrible as you committed to doing many things and you don't do it. Then we mess up credibility. Then now we can't gauge your velocity. Velocity is just saying we are figuring out your capacity in terms of what can you really do every week. Because I would have seen your historic trend, right? Data to say in the last 5 sprints, you were doing like 30 user stories, something like that. So I can gauge it to say this is the average you can do, maybe 5 or 4, whatever we decide, you will know. Then daily scrum, like we said, we will make sure we do daily scrum, 15 minutes straight to the point, nothing to talk about beside, hey, what have you done? Is there a roadblock? If there's no roadblock, we're good for today. Boom, bounce, we're good. We just keep moving forward. The intent is we don't have time for meeting to waste our time, but just show up that time in case there are questions you want to ask, and we can all address it there and there. The sprint review is just going to be, a time we kind of look at the work you've done for the week, and you show us, and we review it, and you get a blessing that okay, this is fine or not at that point in time.